Big news out of Tecmo. They could be in deep trouble. Find out why employees are suing the maker of Ninja Gaiden 2.
Plus, we count down the 10 most badass weapons of all time and give you a preview of Zero Punctuation's take on Haze. X-Play starts right now.
Welcome to X-Play, the best dressed video game show on TV, if we do say so ourselves.
I put on my pants by myself today.
Proud of you.
Yeah.
I'm Morgan Webb.
And I'm Adam Sessler. We're coming to you from the G4 Studios in Los Angeles on Tuesday, June 17th. On today's show, we've got brand new pro tips with T-Squared for Call of Duty 4.
And we'll get some FaceTime with the man behind what could very well be the year's most ambitious game, Fallout 3. Executive producer Todd Howard joins us live in the studio for the latest on his open world epic. Plus, we play for keeps, shake and bake, and review NASCAR 09. But first, let's get all of today's top stories in our gaming update.
Today we've got new developments regarding troubled video game publisher Tecmo. Japanese video game website GameWatch has learned that 2 Tecmo employees have filed a lawsuit with the Tokyo District Court for unpaid wages. The suit, which represents all 300 of the company's employees, claims that for the last 4 years, workers were denied over 100 hours per month in unpaid overtime. Officials are said to be looking into whether or not Tecmo has violated any labor laws. Rolling Stone film critic Peter Travers is urging his readers to stop watching movies and start playing video games, after explaining how impressed he was by the storyline of Grand Theft Auto 4. Travers added, quote, "There's plot development, character depth, and moral ambiguity, stuff you don't find in Speed Racer. It's a rare video game that enters territory marked by Scorsese and Tarantino." Travers even went so far as to say that outside of Iron Man, Grand Theft Auto 4 is better than anything he's seen at the theater this year. As we chalk up one for the video game industry, new information from entertainment trade paper Variety has revealed that Underworld and Die Hard 4 director Len Wiseman will helm the film adaptation of the upcoming Gears of War movie. Epic Games exec Mark Rain says they want to get it right and are not going to rush through the project. So far, the film has been tagged with a tentative 2010 release. And finally, Nintendo is expected to make a big splash at this year's E3. Nintendo's Mark Franklin told GamePro that the company will be announcing several new titles that appeal to, quote, core gamers around the time of this year's E3. In related news, Nintendo's Laurent Fisher has gone on record saying Nintendo is aware that gamers are concerned about a storage solution for the Wii, and it is something that they are working on. Fisher told GamesIndustry.biz that there were no plans to issue any hardware like an external hard drive, and for now couldn't say anything beyond that. And for all the latest Nintendo news, be sure to tune in to G4's live E3 coverage this July. We'll be there for all of the breaking news. And be sure to tune in to X-Play in the coming weeks, as we'll have some big announcements. All right, that's it for today's gaming update. For the latest news, be sure to check out our website, g4tv.com/xplay. But now let's go over to Morgan. She's got your favorite weapons of mass destruction.
Thanks, Adam. That was so much great information. After a rough day, there's nothing more satisfying than destroying helpless AI enemies. And when you're doing it with weapons that make the Department of Defense blush, it's, pretty much extra fun. Today we're looking at the best doomsday bringers. It's X-Play's top 10 badass weapons. There's no shortage of impressive weaponry in the world of gaming. In fact, nearly every game has at least one good one. There are a select few, however, that stand out as the baddest of the bad. Get ready to lock and load. These are the top 10 most badass game weapons. At number 10, it's Altair's Hidden Blade from Assassin's Creed. As an assassin, it's important to be well-versed when it comes to weapons. Kind of your job. But the best ones are always the ones no one knows you're packing.
Let me show you.
And the great thing is, when you jump off a roof and land in a haystack, it hardly cuts your wrists at all. Hardly. Number 9 comes to us from Dead Rising. Really, it's not as much one thing as it's everything. When you're trapped in a mall with zombies hungry to munch a little gray matter, you'll do anything to survive, and consequently, you'll find you get real creative when it comes to weapons. Never thought you'd use a cash register to bash your way out of a tight spot? You will. And number 8, the Hammer of Dawn. Honestly, all Marcus Phoenix's weapons in Gears of War are pretty badass.
Wretches!
But sometimes you just want to make your enemies go, oh God, what the f was that? Enter the Hammer, a high-intensity satellite-fired beam guaranteed to wipe out your local locust population, as well as arming you with a handy new catchphrase.
Let's drop the hammer.
Coming in at 7, the Groovatron from Ratchet & Clank Future Tools of Destruction. You know what's better than disintegrating your enemies with a plasma blast? Humiliating them first with involuntary disco dancing. They'll have the time of their lives, and they'll owe it all to you. Number 6 is Ryu's Scythe from Ninja Gaiden 2. Nothing slices like it, nothing dices like it. Sure, it might not be as delicate as other ninja options, but you can't argue with its results. So far, a crop of badder weapons I've never seen, but the baddest and the asses are yet to come. I do love the Hammer of Dawn. Now, coming up tomorrow, we're going to count down the numbers 5 through 1, but now let's get to what you're probably thinking about when you're...
Coming up, X-Play has an exclusive interview for one of the biggest games of the year, Fallout 3. Brace yourself for the end of times. Executive producer Todd Howard joins us live in studio to reveal the very latest details on his post-apocalyptic RPG. Plus, take your game to the next level. Pro gamer T-Squared's got life-saving tips for Call of Duty 4. Then, hide the children. We've got a sneak preview of Yahtzee's latest foul-mouthed zero-punctuation review of Haze. A day early. Stay tuned. Gaming Update is brought to you by Break.com. Great flicks, hot chicks, cool pick.
Or visit us on the web.
A new era in gaming is dawning. The big three will collide at E3 in the battle for next-gen supremacy. Who will shape the future? G4 presents E3 08 Live. Which gaming Goliath will push game design to new limits? What hot new titles will shock and awe you? Only G4 is there live to find out. E3 08 Live. Week-long coverage starts July 14th, only on G4.
Welcome back to X-Play. The middle of our weeks don't have enough curses and crude Photoshop drawings. Thankfully, one man injects plenty of both into his video game reviews. Here's the preview of Yahtzee's latest zero punctuation. This week, he takes on Haze.
So, Haze. There's this impossibly well-equipped corporate army thing who don't represent the United States, honest, who invade some South American country and hit upon the world-beating idea of making their soldiers fight battles in a jungle environment with a bunch of glowing yellow lights strapped to their bodies. You start off fighting for the camouflages for sissies crowd, but about halfway through you realise that the huge faceless corporation who controls their infantry with addictive drugs might possibly be a teensy bit on the amoral side and decide that blindly following orders is a mug's game, whereupon you defect to the opposing guerrilla army to blindly follow their orders instead. An unusual plot twist which would probably have had greater impact were it not given away on the back of the box. The story is deeper than the usual kill everyone who is different to us military shoot affair, which I do appreciate. At the start of the game, your colleagues are a bunch of psychotic macho dicks, and it was a relief to find that I was supposed to think that, because I thought the same thing about my heroic squad mates in Halo, Crisis, Turok, Quake 4, and pretty much every game in which large men stand around comparing willies. The main character of Haze is characterized not as a wisecracking walking armory who lactates testosterone, but a naive, whinging college boy soldier who can't function without mugs of warm milk and the occasional cuddle, which gets a bit incongruous after he's mowed down enough people to populate Mozambique. The overall message of Haze's story is that war is bad, and there are no true heroes when death is on the menu, but combining that with whiz-bang shooty fun strikes me as trying to have one's cake and eat it, a phrase I've never really understood. I mean, I think it's perfectly reasonable to want to eat a cake that you have. There's not much else you can do with a cake, except maybe hide in one if you're a stripper. Sorry, lost my train of thought.
Remember, you can get Zero Punctuation's full uncensored review of Haze only at escapistmagazine.com. And X-Play will have new previews every Tuesday night.
And we want to send congratulations to Pro Gamer and X-Play's Pro Tipper T-Squared and the Straight Rippin' team. They annihilated the competition at their Halo tournament this past weekend, at MLG San Diego. See, this guy knows what he's talking about. Listen up, people. This week he's got new tips for 3 of Call of Duty 4's new maps: Broadcast, Chinatown, and Kill House.
What's up, everybody? I'm Tom Taylor.
Tom Taylor.
But you know me as T-Squared.
T-Squared.
I'm part of the MLG team, straight ripping. I've got the Call of Duty 4 tips
Call of Duty 4 tips.
that'll have you fragging like a pro.
Airstrike standing by.
Here are a couple spots in the variety map pack that'll help you raise your kill count.
Airstrike standing by.
The first spot is in Kill House. Make your way to one of the 2 staircases and crouch underneath. It's tough for people to see you. They'll run right by you, and then you can pick them off. You'll have ample opportunity to cut them down to size.
UAV recon standing by.
Next, it's over to Chinatown, where I've got the perfect spot for search and destroy matches. Climb up to the 2nd level of the DVD store. From here, you can keep an eye on A and B by moving window to window. One window to the next.
Good job, team. Get ready for the next round.
All right, it's time for our broadcast premiere tip. Head up to the conference room that overlooks the cubicles. This room has 2 windows that you need to make use of. From this window, you can pick people off running past this opening, trying to get to the roof. This window has a good view of the server room.
UAV recon standing by.
So set a claymore to guard your back and get to killing.
Helicopter support standing by.
Follow these tips for the variety map pack, and you'll be ranking up in no time.
Tomorrow on X-Play, we continue our countdown of the top 10 badass weapons in gaming. Make sure you're here for number 1. Then, Kristen Holt is back with the new grid cheat that will help you make it to the finish line with ease in one of the year's best games. Plus, we take another head-scratching look at some DS titles that make us scream, what the f*** were they thinking? And on Thursday, be sure to tune in for a hands-on look at Capcom's 21st century reimagining of Bionic Commando. We'll show you how to swing and survive in this action-packed adventure. All that and more coming up this week on X-Play.
You should save those Call of Duty 4 tips until next week when you're playing Call of Duty 4 again, because we know you're not playing Call of Duty 4 this week.
Yeah, it should be Metal Gear Solid 4. And before that, it was Grand Theft Auto 4.
Right.
Really the year of 4.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's a good year. And of course, I've been playing Mass Effect on the PC, but I'm probably the only one.
Which is good too. You're not the only one. There's this other guy. I seen him.
See you next time. Thanks for watching.